Good morning, Sunil. How are you?
I am good. How are things your side?
Quite good. I am in a little chirpy mood this morning
Mm-hmm.
with a bright sunny day.
Mm-hmm. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. I can see that with your smile, with your body language as well. So what's gotten you happy today?
Well, as I was taking my walk this morning, one thing that kept striking in my mind, and which has also been recurring thought, is the challenge that I have in terms of consistency of my actions. And let me give you a bit of uh, background to what this consistency is playing out as.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the beginning of the year, I decided that I'll have some unwritten goals, but I'll like to pursue them for 2024. So, two of the areas that I chose to pursue, which are very different from the ones I've done before, is some kind of a dive into digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that coincides well with my teaching initiatives, because I have been teaching in the area of marketing, and that's been about 7-8 years journey now. And I have actually ventured out into different areas of marketing, more so to push myself to learn new things. So digital marketing is one of the areas I've heard a lot. Uh, being talked about, being area that is gaining in importance in terms of budgetary allocation for corporates and all that, but never really ventured into it in a deeper sense. And the
Mm-hmm.
second area I wanted to pursue is the manner in which change management is being tackled at the corporate level, and what are the organizations that have been more resilient to change, what have they done, versus those that have not really risen up to the change. So these are the two areas I wanted to pursue, completely different from the ones that I had ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been now over 2 months now, nearly 2 months, since the year has commenced. And I have not really touched the surface of it. And um, in fact, about a week ago, I ordered on Amazon and got myself a digital marketing book. But I have not opened the single page. So I was just, I mean, it's not something that's pricking me, but it is something that I would like to understand as to why this huge gap that between what I wish to do and what I actually end up doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I hear you in terms of what you just shared in terms of consistency in some of your actions. You started off with that, and then you shared about unwritten goals that you had pursuing for 2024. Two different areas. One is with regards to digital marketing and how it comes around teaching, change management. I heard you share that you love learning new things, but also I sort of sense that you brought some new book and you haven't opened it, and I could sense that there was something there that you wanted to explore, and you share that you want to understand that what is the space or what is the gap between what you wish to do and what you end up doing.
Right.
Yeah. So what's happening, with regards to what you wish to do and what do you end up doing?
A lot of things are happening in between. There was some big family event that happened in January for which I got totally involved. And though I had, you know, these two areas to explore on my mind very much, but on a daily basis, I really ended up with very little time, if at all, to explore either of the territories. That's one. That's how the entire January was with family coming together, with this event that we had to participate in, and so basically, and I also had to renew my accreditation, which I did recently. So all these things were taking away a lot of my time, leaving very little, if at all, for exploring these new areas. Now, coming to February, I started uh, reviewing what I have done and went back to understanding that no progress has been done on these areas. So the immediate thing for me was to at least look at some learning tools, and I went checked up the books available on Amazon on digital marketing, and I found one good book, so I ordered it. But having said that, I think somehow I am getting engulfed by various activities during the day, leaving me with no time to pursue these, which I thought would be simple enough to pursue because I had only set two areas to explore. So it's not some heavy lifting that I was trying to do during the year, and therefore I set mainly these two areas.
Mm-hmm. So I heard, that possibly there could have been a space around time because there were other things. There was family, there was accreditation, and then also, I'm curious to sort of bring these metaphors to you in terms of time being taken away. Uh, I am getting engulfed, heavy lifting. So, what are these, words telling you?
See, what I meant by heavy lifting was that I decided not to do any heavy lifting. By deciding to go ahead with only two areas was to keep the whole effort a light one.
Mm-hmm.
So, heavy lifting as a metaphor is something that if I overburden myself with too many activities, then I can understand that. Uh, I can't really drive all the activities simultaneously. But two activities I think are within my bandwidth to drive. The other metaphor is getting engulfed with things is that basically I am very I get very pulled in for uh, any interesting thought or idea that comes across my way.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, yesterday I was very pulled in for this thought about how how can one understand the uh, whether one is coachable. So there was an podcast that came my way, which talked about some very experts who came across to discuss the area of how do you understand that you are coachable, or how does a coach understand that the coachee or the client is coachable, and what are the kind of the conditions under which a person is ready to be coached. So therefore, I came across that and I started reading about it and I listened to this podcast and all that. And at the end of it, almost a couple of hours were taken away. Not that it did not enrich me, but it did not really fill the bucket on the two areas that I wanted to pursue. So neither the digital marketing one or nor the uh, one in terms of change management. Nothing was worked on that. But yes, it it was a very interesting topic for me. It drew me intensely, and if I felt a sense of losing out if I had not really listened into that. So similarly, there was an article that is written by this lady called Dory Clark, who's a very prolific writer, and so she writes in a very interesting way and very lucid way. So I started reading some of her articles.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing that I wanted to convey is that with all this coming through, uh, my available time span is gets consumed.
Mm-hmm. And now that you shared all of this, uh, what's opened up for you?
Something that I was reading a while ago is actually striking me now, which is that complete the activities that you wish to do for the day at the very outset of the day itself.
Mm-hmm.
So whichever activities you have decided as the more core activities for the day, or where you have accorded uh, the top three priorities for the day, try to finish it at the beginning of the day, which means in the pre-lunch session, try and finish that activity. So, I should therefore, what's sort of connecting from what I read a while ago to why I'm missing out on the two learning areas I identified for myself is that I need to necessarily start my day with these two activities. So possibly maybe about an hour or hour and a half. And it doesn't matter if I do both or do one.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do both, uh, it should not be at the cost of some interesting learning in one. So which means that if I'm doing something in digital marketing and I'm really deep into it, I should not pull myself away and just set a timeline. So maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hour only into digital marketing and 1.5 hour into change management. Instead of doing that, if there is something really interesting that come my way, I should devote more time to that on that day. So maybe the first half of the day can be devoted either to one or to both activities, depending on how things have flown. And in case I focus on one day, then move the other one to the next day. And once I tick off that, then I move into the other activities, which may be as engrossing or as absorbing as the other activities may. So that is the thought that's crossing my mind at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, considering the fact that I'm under no time constraint, that I have to do this activity by this time or something like that, that's a space I need to really tap into and take advantage of.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, I think I haven't done this before. And, talking about this in this session actually helped me bring in that connect. which I had read some time ago. So it's basically prioritize the prioritizing itself. And the best way to do it is not. I mean, I've seen that. If I've done uh, drawn up a list of activities to do during the day, I don't tick all the boxes. I take a few of them, and then the important ones may be left hanging. It doesn't work for me. If I have set a timeline for myself, that also doesn't work for me, because many a times the timelines get disrupted because of unplanned events, some unplanned person coming up, or some unplanned activity that has to be completed. So that doesn't work. So therefore, uh, being fortunate to have the luxury of time with me, I should try and finish off both, or at least one of the activities during the first half of the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. So, just want to check in terms of, you wanted to understand what's the gap in understanding what you wish to do and sometimes end up doing. Uh, are we still on the same path?
Yes, yes. I mean, so it's helped me uh, get some clarity on why this gap is occurring in the first place, and uh, that may be occurring because some you know a number of unplanned things or unplanned uh, material that I get interested in reading is actually eating up the time or the effort required, and somehow consciously or unconsciously I'm pushing aside the ones that have not been that I decided to work on, but uh, I keep keep that in abeyance in preference to the ones which were not planned. So the planned ones not getting the requisite amount of importance versus the unplanned ones. That's the mismatch that is happening.
Mm. And with
And
this, go on.
and possibly, if I sort of look at a horizon of 3 months from now, so let's say by June or May, uh, where should I be in terms of my progress if I set that as my sight? And if I imagine myself as on 1st July being at least reasonably confident of the areas that I wanted to pursue in February, and I've got a lot of connections um, and learning in that area. Then on 1st July, looking at myself in that time period may give me a kind of a push to continue with the activity. So if I keep that image in my mind, that on 1st July I should be very well equipped or very well aware of what each of these areas are, very well aware of how I can get deeper understanding of this. And it would be by that time the first half of the year gone. So if by the first half of the year I am pretty well aware of how these areas have really shaped up in my thinking process, then that would be a good achievement, a good goal, you know, a goal post for me to cross.
Mm. And if you were to sort of envision that pace around 1st of July, what would it look like for you?
Yeah, so Sunil, as I mentioned, that on 1st July, I should hold that image in my mind that, I am pretty well learned and knowledgeable about each of these areas. And having said that, I also should be aware of how much more there needs to be uh, learned in that area, and which are the areas that I need to deepen my understanding of even more. So if that becomes clearer to me that, okay, I need to get more awareness or read more about this, and these are the literature available, then I think there will be a certain amount of momentum that I can gather in each of these fields, and I can have that level of confidence to pursue any kind of either teaching assignment or any speaking engagement or anything of the sort, even for that matter, any writing that I can sort of involve myself with in those areas.
Mhm.
In fact, I wish to start writing in those areas, from July onwards, and express my thoughts in each of these fields.
Mhm.
So that, I think, is the requisite level of my understanding of the subjects, my learning of the subjects, and their interpretation.
Mhm. Mm. So how are you feeling now, Dave?
I feel that this is a very viable process that I can adopt, and it has got, um, if I can stick around with it, two things I need to do. One is to allocate time in the first, at the first instance in the morning itself, and the second thing is to hold that image on July 1st, simultaneously. So as I wake up in the morning, if I decide that on July 1st I need to reach there and start off the day with that thought, then I think I can really drive this process.
Mhm. So I observed the way you're sharing it. It feels like it's coming from a very deep source from within.
Right, right.
Mm.
So I seem to have sort of found the key to the lock. Now I need to see how it works.
Mhm. What is it unlocking for you?
Uh, it's unlocking for me a simple process, which I can adopt. Should not be very complicated, and should be easy to follow. And I need to take that step and go ahead and unlock it.
Mm. So just checking in. So how are we doing on the space of understanding and what you want to do and what you end up doing?
I think we're pretty much there, and this discussion has helped in terms of getting to the point where I see uh, the possibility of breaking out of this mold.
Mm. And uh, would you like to share any learnings that you've had about yourself during the session?
See, I think I need to tap into the the understanding from different uh, pieces of reading that I do, and I need to keep connecting them. So if I have a challenge, I can really connect it with some of the learnings present or past, and see whether I can arrive at a possible way out of the challenge that I'm encountering. So, like I could quickly, it flashed across my mind about uh, setting putting priority on top, and setting that priority, not leaving it at the end of the day or in the middle of the day, because chances are that it may get sabotaged in the process. So right in the front of bring it to the front beginning of the day. So maybe the first 2 hours of the day as I start, between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. If I can finish off both or at least one of the activities, that will be good enough for me to make progress.
I hear you share about this getting the two things done before, in the 10 to 12 p.m. Zone. So what support or resources would you need to make that happen?
The resource that I would need is that, holding that image on 1st July, as I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And, that is something that I need to sort of capture in my mind. And once I get ready for the day, that's the first image that should flash in my mind. That I should be well equipped in each of these two areas to make progress on them further and to discuss the issues much more deeply and confidently.
Mm-hmm. So there's a question that's coming to me, very intuitively when you share that. Can I share that with you, and you can answer however you want to answer that.
Sure.
So I that image that you keep mentioning about the 1st of July. So who would you be when you reach that particular timeline?
See, uh, if I meet those timelines, which I think I should, I would be knowledgeable about two areas which will be making me feel intellectually very satisfied. But besides that, it will also give me the confidence to pitch myself for undertaking any course or undertaking any program associated with these two areas, which will be my newer learning areas, and therefore I can bring in a very uh, diverse and very interesting perspective to both of the areas. And both of the areas, incidentally, I selected because not because they are new, but because I think there is quite a bit of stimulation that I can get through these learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll feel stimulated as an individual. I feel I have learned two different things which I did not know before in the previous 4 months, and it will also give me the sort of starting block to get into maybe a newer area, if not two, for the rest of the year. So if I could finish off that in the first 6 months, then for the next 6 months I can look at something else which could be as interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I heard you share about being intellectually satisfied, having confidence to take that as a course, the space of having stimulation of learning something new. So how do these words stand for what are your values, what are your needs?
Yeah, they align well with the values that I have is continuous learning. So one value that I would like to pursue is continuous learning for continuous widening the learning among other individuals or like-minded people or people who are interested in that area. It could be good mental stimulation. So it's one of the values that I would like to pursue is continuously um, explore newer areas so that you know I enrich myself intellectually all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that having learned this, can I now spread it among those who are interested to explore this in a manner which is very interesting, a manner that generates a lot of discussion and newer thoughts among other people.
So I can sense that exploration, enriching yourself, enriching others during discussion is something that's very important for you. And also just curious, so how do you like to celebrate this journey of getting to the 1st of July and beyond?
Yeah. So one way of celebrating it is that, okay, fine, the feel good factor will be with me, but more importantly, it will help me push myself even further to explore one or two areas in the rest of the year. And, you know, then look as of 1st January 2025, what are the 3 or 4 new things or new areas that I've really explored?
Mm-hmm.
And that will leave me with a good amount of satisfaction on the progress made during the year.
Hmm. Anything else that you would like to explore in our conversation today?
No, Sunil, I think we are good.
So, Deb, then I would like to close this call with your permission.
Thank you.